If you just joined us, welcome back to it, man. We're discussing things, life, entrepreneurship. We're discussing patriotism. It's food for thought. It's the very first edition of it. You're still with Maps, The Fire, and our first guest. Man, there are so many stories that we are discussing when we're off air, and it's a pity that we have a limited time.
Yeah.
Some of them are quite amusing.
And, on that note, like, there's a story that I wanted to share off air, but I decided to save it for on air because I think for the most part of the interview, we've been, Ndalekhe has been telling us about, some of the struggles and a lot of the painful side of the entrepreneurship. Yeah. But we haven't really discussed the fun side of all of that. I mean, I'll give you one funny memory, There was a time and they'd opened a nightclub at the Vatican, at the National University, outside the National University, called House Party, right?
Welcome to my party.
So I'd drive down where I live is halfway between town and the varsity, so every Friday or Saturday.
You live in peri-urban myself.
The real suburbs, man. Shout out Masiano Gay. So, I'd drive out Friday or Saturday to go MC shows at House Party. So I remember one show I was MCing, bro, where you can imagine that it's shut down, whatever else was happening before House Party got there. It's the biggest thing. Half the city's driving down to a university, 40 kilometers out of the city, right?
Wait, before you carry on with your story, even our friend, and I've got to shout him up. Even our friend Mukheti Rampeta, who is the most straight-laced.
Pharaoh, he doesn't even like going out.
He was going out to the house party, so I have an understanding.
So just to give some perspective, you're talking 40 kilometers out of the country on mountainous, it's our whole country is topography. It's kind of crazy. So I remember one event where I was emceeing House Party, right? And you man in stage, man, there's 900 or 1,000 students in the crowd. It's crazy. It's a Friday night, right? Yeah. And Mr. Khekhe comes up to me, bro, with a plastic, right? Calls me off stage. Yo! I go to Musa, give him this plastic. Yo, throw this up. Open the plastic, bro. It's probably $2,000 worth of 10 rand notes. Man, did we make it rain. We made it rain that night.
Yeah, that is signature House Party. We made it rain. Literally making it rain.
This was 9 years ago.
You know what's funny? My girlfriend's quite a bit younger than me, and she was at Roma at the same time.
Yeah.
So she was a regular attender of these things. So I'm asking her one day, I'm like, what's your knowledge of the house party? She just started laughing. So it's better that I don't go any further than
it was too ill for TV, man. Too ill for TV.
Know, man.
But I want us to talk about some controversies, if you will. And I'm a sports guy. I love me some sports, and I also am a very big fan of the intricacies of sports and the sports and the business of sports. Tabaya, Basutland Inc. You spoke about the national pride that we all had. Everybody I know, every next person has a replica jersey. In fact, I've got two. There's a picture you put up recently. I think it was one of your parents' birthdays, and you got a picture of both of them wearing
the replica.
But sorry, just to interject over there, just shout out to Mr. Khekhe as far as the merchandise and Basotho Landing, because he's always kept me fresh for free. Even when I try to pay him, he's like, nah. He always made sure. So I remember situations where artists, South African artists who've rocked Basotho Landing and t-shirts that you'll never get again. So man, shout out to Mr. Khekhe for that.
So I want us to discuss what happened. Where are we with that, and how did we get to where we are?
I see the controversy. I see what you did there. I see where we're going.
Every agreement in our lifespan, as I said, it was our first venture. In fact, it was the first of its kind in this country. That kind of partnership. A small brand which is up and coming. Small up and coming, it means limitations and an organization, it's a national organization. Fella is now a very good reputation.
Yes, sir.
So some of these things ke tseo re neng re sa di sheba gona ne re shebile fela hore bathana re tlo ba pesa di-tracksuit tsenana ba be presentable and look ba pere hantle ka lebaleng on the field
With
of
some
play.
level of consistency.
Yeah, and then fena di apara di replica. Well, we did get warnings, you know what?
Yeah, breka mo.
Yeah, ntena ja la etwela because the politics are the institution itself di tlotla di bolaya this initiative. But now I'm always like, you know what? Ha ke motho wa di hearsay ha ihlekile ka metsi ka le re ke tla utlwa se ke tshile ka mano. You know what? Ntena na mohlomong ke be ke entse tje. But yeah, the long and short of it is we both made mistakes really. Both of us. Any mistakes along the way because that was the first of its kind. So there were a lot of mistakes done. But we soldiered on until the contract fell. They decided not to renew. An option to renew. You know what? But certain aspects for both and your interests. But like I'm saying, beyond the business, there's also politics behind.
Okay.
So unfortunately, now instead of being sponsored, partnership they want to go buy elsewhere.
Okay.
After 5 years, of our own capital and everything else. But it's life. It taught us a lot. I mean, and I think if it wasn't for that experience, in so many ways, so many ways for moto. Also, it's about to deal with things, but not even be emotional about them.
That's right.
But beyond tabayahore, which is fine. I mean, in a lifespan, and they also have liberty. So if they want to work with whoever, it's fine, whoever, but they've lost in time now. There was something patriotic which originates from that's the biggest thing that they lost here.
Situation where you guys were, I understand, in contract negotiation, but it seemed as though they were going a different way.
Yeah.
So the players are in, I think they're in Ghana. They've got Basotland ink tracksuits on.
Yeah.
Even when they got on the field of play,
The Adidas.
they're wearing Adidas.
Wow.
How did you...
Well, I really felt sorry for effort over the past 5 years because at the beginning of my conversation, that thing.
Sure.
Three lions, tracksuit, so effort they threw it down the drain. But what I'll say is beyond that experience 5 years has really given us growth, the platform on a different level now because the entire soccer fraternity, corporates, there's a lot that came out that's good out of this thing.
Every team pretty much in the Premier League is sponsored by...
We're partnering.
Everybody has technical sponsorship.
Almost everyone.
How many teams?
There's like 11 out of 13, so about 78% or so.
Just about the whole.
Which is an incredible story. So unfortunately, like you said, we're working against time. And shout out for the mosque not
coming back.
I feel blessed for that. Going into the closing part of our interview or our conversation, which is probably the reason we started in the first place, is now the political sphere within which you are. Just to create some background, you're very vocal on social media. You're one of those people that you garner a lot of support or you garner a lot of comments.
How many followers do you have on Facebook?
I can now say close to 10,000 now because it's friends and followers. So it's probably close to 10,000.
You're just about in the thing.
So beyond the numbers, when you look at the fact that 85% of his posts are long in Sesotho and people engage, it tells you the space within which he is as far as communicating with urban Maseo. One of the things I want to talk about is some of the recent, like Ndadimolo said, controversies you've had with the political elite or the political parties or the political players, so to speak. I remember a situation where about 2 or 3 years ago, after a coup when the army, there was tensions happening and, an attempted coup, my bad. And, there were, I suppose we'll say, but rest in peace, Colonel Hashadzi, who I think almost kind of warned you on social media at the time. Can you just take us through some of that? One, your approach to this, or why you're so vocal. Two, how or some of the threats that have come through that.
Hi. Well, Kichulo Hakala Kimosut.
And this is at a national level, this conversation now.
No, it's, yeah. Kilaga Shalo sorry, Kimaramusu trend. That's what matters to me the most, I guess. Yeah. And Chela bringing Yaka happy. My dad has always been very, very clear to me. So he'll never let anything slide. Even the Prime Minister. Jale batho ba ha ka re mmuso ba bolawe ke masole ho etsala ho etsala ba jale ne mme ya ka o kwatile mono ha o go tlelle batho banana e be sa lo ntso tsunya le batho banana wa botsa e be ntatwa ka wa maarabela o tsebe nna ke mohuti mme ke modisa me ya batho ba tlo mpotsa hore na ha ntse ba fosa ke le ka ba tloela hobane so that's his nature e be o go nna. I don't know why he picked on me.
You're the oldest, right? I'm the oldest at home. That's the price of being the oldest.
In fact, I'm not the oldest.
Oh, yes, but you're the oldest male. Sorry, patriarchal society.
All of us must do the right thing. Always the right thing. Okay. So, Honna, we know Kapa, Lemily, Bangata. Zonya Zunan and 29 episodes. Do the right thing. So, Nteno, it's always playing in my mind. Look, if Kilimusutu and Kibona were suffering as a country, even Nakinana Hore, what's when na Kulagata, but relative to Basotwa man, starts in Gabon, half of this country lives below
the poverty line, yes.
So, it's always that thing. Things are happening, and I have a choice to make here. Either yes, but I think about 2010, business o tlohella o bua dipolitiki ke ba di politiki tse batho ba ba re o tlohella o bua dipolitiki
hobane your money
business bele ke ba botse ke ha go utlina ha motho a chaise go botwa ba le ya ke bua ka motho a chaise go botwa ba le ya. How does this have to do with my business? So ka be ke ithuta as young as I am and as young as I was. So you know what politiki ba etsa ba batla hore and pretend as if they are not seeing what's going on. You lose business.
Specifically in a country where the government is the biggest employer, pretty much the biggest source of revenue.
Just to create some context for our listeners, then I'd like to ask Hona on that level, how do you think we got here politically?
Oh yes,
my bad.
ke qetelle ha se le go ke rata ba vocal yeah so I was saying ke yona background eno no nya hore wa bona you know what you cannot sit here and watch things and expect someone hore o tla re thusa o tla etsa so that go be le change wena e be etsang hore wena ba tlo sho ba neneng o na le shop mo to run fela intse sho yona business ena hawe so I think I made a decision right then you know what if I see something wrong ka hara naha ka mo ke tla leka hore re lokise I have no beef with mang kapa mang but the fact that hore ke bua le wena on Facebook ke yona platform fela ke nang le yona ha re lokise ntwe le nna ke force outside for hangata blind I expect people I expect people to call me out that's
why you're our first guest, because aside from the fact that you're my friend, you're very receptive to criticism. You're not out there with a mission. So it only makes sense.
It's only fair. So the biggest challenge here about to business what's idea safari business but challenge go ba bang ba thotse ba ne ona na hore e tla mo deprive of business so I decided I accept a business in muso it's pure and simple I get any sort of business le muso lamba ka sa kipaseng sa ka se le seng ka pakala ta tlhapi ka tsemane ka ta irekisa it's fine, life goes on. It's a marathon, you understand? So I've tried to stay away from dependency and how we criticize. But
the politics of patronage.
Yes.
So coming to Tabaya, what happened, my late friend Chele recently former assistant minister Kamundu. Yes. Now I honestly don't think.
I don't know someone.
Right there, just to give background to that story now. What happened so that people who may not be aware have an understanding.
Sure, but you know,
How you doing, Mahalagan? That day, you are responsible for information. It's let in this with a met high.
And we'll offer a right of reply.
Hey, we're open, man.
Well, in this past week, obviously we are where we are politically. It's just chaotic. Kidi coalition, it's in charm. Muso collapse. So my friend here. The former minister of Home Affairs, assistant minister Home Affairs, we're on social media again, which is a platform he uses as a politician. We are more on social media and then chair offer opinion higher or you know what, Rejampile from the coalition, because there's a cabal at the State House. Corrupt cabal. So now I know very well. For last year, he went on social media.